And so he swims up to me, and as he gets closer, I realize he opens his slipper and sort of like put his slippers around me as if he's giving me a hug. And suddenly my heart starts to slow down as I feel that sense of comfort. And I'm stunned because I'm thinking to myself, this Manatee, this young calf have lost his mother because of us humans, but it still find it within itself to show me love.
Hey, Jamal, how are you?
I'm okay, and yourself?
Good. Thank you so much for coming to spend some time with us. Really appreciate it.
No problem. Glad to be here.
So, Jamal, tell me, where did you grow up? Because you grew up with manatees. So where did you do you remember the first time you saw one?
I grew up in a small village outside of Belize City, just south of Belize City. It's called Gills Point, Manatee. So ironically, named after Manatees because it's known for Manatees. There's a lot of Manatees there. So growing up as a kid, I saw them all the time. It was normal for me to see Manatees all the time because it's the place that I grew up. It's, in my opinion, is a haven for Manatees. That if I was a Manatee, I'd go live there too. It's the perfect place for Manatees. I think it's the best place for them in the entire world. Because it has all environmental conditions that are favorable to manatees, and people love manatees there, so they're technically safe, and it's just the best place for a manatee to be.
For other people like that don't know what a manatees is, will you explain like what they are and how big they are? I mean, they're kind of extraordinary, right? So people don't know. People think of whales, but these are not whales. So we explain to our audience.
Similar, like kind of like whales, but much more loving. Manatees are charismatic. They're large mammals. They are referred to as gentle giants because even though they're large, they tend to be really gentle. They're harmless. They don't want to harm you because they're just this sort of a loving species. They're mammals, so they do need to come to the surface to breathe. They can stay in the water for about 10 to 15 minutes before they actually need oxygen. Their entire body systems in terms of organs are similar like humans. If you would look at your human abdominal cavity, it's very much the same. Except manatees have much more larger organs and they have a much more larger heart, means they have more love. They're herbivores, so they tend to eat mainly vegetation, whether it's seagrass from the ocean floor or overhanging mangrove. And I mentioned that they're large, so they can eat about 9 to 10% of their body weight daily. And wow, they can get up to 1,000 pounds. Literally can be the size of a small pickup truck in length and weight. But because they eat so much makes them very important to the ecosystems because specifically in Belize, they're the only herbivorous mammals in our waterways, the only one churning in the seagrass. And because they eat so much, they excrete a lot. And excretion is food for small fishes, crustaceans, and big fish eat small fishes, and we eat big fishes. So in other words, we've all had a bit of the poop in our lifetime, somewhere or the other. And I don't hear anybody complaining about it. But they're very important, not just as a species to the ecosystem, but they contribute to the economy. But having manatees around is really an honor and a pleasure. And I think that everybody on this planet should be grateful to have such a wonderful, loving species to bless our earth.
You say loving a lot. Like, can you hug them? Like, what makes them loving? What is it that makes them loving?
I don't think you should hug them.
You're not supposed to hug them.
Yeah.
It's hard to resist to want to give these animals love. Why I say loving in the sense that the only threat that manatees face are anthropogenic cause, human-related threats. So we're the ones that are causing all the problems these animals are facing. But yet these animals find it within themselves to trust us, to love us. And for me, it's hard to not just love them back. I can't imagine someone harming me so much, but yet I can find that care, that sense of love in your heart to still trust humans, despite that fact knowing that we're the number one threat to them, and these will still approach humans. That shows you that they're trusting and they're loving. And it's hard for anybody, no matter how much hate you have in your heart, it's hard for you to push that away. It's hard for you to not receive that amount of love that animal actually brings to us.
Now, do you work with them every day?
That's my life. I wouldn't say I work with them every day. I live with them every day. That's my life. It's a life journey to look after manatees. I may not be on the water every day, but I speak about manatees every day. If I go to the bank, I may run into somebody. I may tell them a story about a manatee that needs their help. I can be in schools, I can be in universities to kindergarten, I can be in daycare talking to kids, I can be in office spaces or in a public space. And it is my job as an ambassador for the species to tell their story because they have a story that needs to be told, and not because they can't speak don't mean that they don't have something to say. And the goal is to tell their story wide, loud, and very, very loud because we need it to be heard. And I think it's the most powerful tool, the story. You can contribute to conservation. I always believe that humans are asking how can we help and what can people do to make a difference. And often get mistaken by writing a check in the mail. Writing a check in the mail allows us to do the work that we do, but it's not the only way you can help. Sharing a post on social media, sending a note of thank you to encourage people around the world that are doing this sort of conservation action, because oftentimes it feels like you're doing the impossible for the ungrateful. So knowing that there are people across the globe that cares about the work that you're doing is important, but we can't possibly give back to these pieces what we've taken away from them. No amount of money you donate, no amount of time you put in, not even myself. What we've taken from them, separating the mother from its calf, killing the mother and leaving the calf to be orphaned. Nothing you can say or do would justify or would make it equal to what we've taken from them. So all we've been doing is just a small gesture. And we just got to keep doing it because it's like, even though it's small, it goes a long way. And for people to change their action and change their behavior, they need to know the implications of their actions and behavior. And that's my job, is to be an ambassador for these pieces, to tell their story so that people are aware that they're in pain and that they're hurt and that they want to be loved. And my goal is to instill that love within people's heart to try and be a part of the conservation initiative and try and be a part of making a difference. You can be anywhere in the world and love Manatees. You can be anywhere in the world and make a difference to a species all the way in a small country like Belize. You just have to have the desire to do so. I often tell people that there's no prerequisite for conservation. You don't need to have a background in conservation. You don't need to have any specific training. All that is required is a desire to want to help.
How old were you when you first became aware of the manatee?
I've seen manatees all my life, but I really got into the conservation of the species when I was 11 years old.
What drew you in at 11?
Yeah. Tell us the story of how, you got involved in this.
So as a kid, I seen manatees is like seeing a bird fly by or a dog or a cat. It's normal. And people often get complacent because they see something all the time and they assume that it's always going to be there. That was me as a kid. Seeing them and I get great joy in seeing them every single time, but I just assume that they're always going to be there.
What kind of town did you grow up in?
It's a small village, not more than 300 people. Everybody knows everybody's name. It's on the water. It's a peninsula, so it's surrounded by water. You see manatees on the shoreline, and the community is really small. There's no fences. There's no separation. People live amongst each other, love each other, and like I said, as a kid, I was seeing manatees all the time, going out on the boat with my grandfather. He would show them to us on the sailboat. We go fishing, we see them all the time. Swimming, sometimes you'll see them. But I guess as a kid, I took it for granted that they're always going to be there. But when I was 11 years old, I saw this weird looking boat drive by. It has an engine in the front, and I don't normally see boats with engines in the front. It's normally in the back. There's a weird tower, and it says Manatee Research. Like a kid who sees a cool car, I'm fascinated by the boat. I started asking questions about this boat, and I learned that they were doing Manatee research. And before you know it, my cousins and I would start to play Manatee rescue on my grandma's lawn. But fight to still get to be the cool guy that gets to drive the boat, and who gets to be the guy that wears the headphone that listens to the heart. That's what I knew it as at 11 years old. I later on learned that it was a stethoscope, but just wanted to be a part of it. And eventually my interest outgrew my grandma's lawn. So I walked down to the dock where they actually leave from, and I approached the guy who's actually still my boss today and who's been my boss for my entire life. We have a relationship more than just I'm not just an employee to him. I see him as a sort of a father figure. He have basically grown me from 11 years old to where I am today. And so I approached Dr. James Buddy Powell, and small little skinny kid. He's sitting at the dock with his sunglasses, drinking his coffee, getting ready to go out. And I was like, can I come out with you guys? And he looks at me for a second and shrugged and say, kid, you're too small. And I made a very mean, I'm about to cry face that made him change his mind. And eventually I made my way out on the boat with the researchers, and I didn't even have to ask my grandma's permission. It had some consequences for but it was worth it. If I would still do it again if you ask me. But being out there with these world-renowned scientists taught me so much about the species that I saw every single day, and I knew very little about first of all, I didn't know that they were endangered. I didn't even know what the word endangered meant at the time. But learning that these animals are literally in danger, I felt the responsibility of that I grew up here, that they're part of our culture, part of our tradition, part of our community, that they need to be protected. And I knew that the researchers, after the research is over, they tend to go back to where they were, go back to America, go back to their country. And then I felt, who's going to look after them while they're gone? And so I started to volunteer every single year. And my first day there, I was so fascinated. I memorized the entire process. I knew when they're going to take blood before they actually did it. I knew when they're going to take measurement before they actually did it. So before they could say, pass me the tape measure, I already had it in my hands. Before they could say, pass me the blood medical box, I already had it in my hands because I memorized the process, because I wanted to impress them. I wanted to be a part of the team. And I felt that being valuable to the team, they'll need to have me there. And so that night I could not sleep. I'm not sure if I couldn't sleep because I was fascinated by seeing them out of the water, because I've never seen them out of the water before, and how big they were, and how gentle and how quiet. Even though they're so huge, they could turn that boat over, but they still tend to be just gentle. Or I'm not sure if I wasn't falling asleep because I was afraid that I'd overslept and they would leave me. They leave at about 8 o'clock, I believe, and I got up about 5 o'clock in the morning. I was taking a shower. My grandma says, who's in the shower? And I'm like, I'm taking a shower. And she's like, at 5 o'clock in the morning, what are you doing? I'm going to go rescue this grandma. And she's like, they don't leave until 9 o'clock. Go back to bed. Regardless, I still got there at about 6:30 in the morning. When I got there, Dr. Powell is sitting there drinking his coffee. I started to load the equipment onto the boat. And he just sits and look at me, probably wondering, what the heck is this kid doing? I was really small. I'm carrying these big boxes onto the boat. When the crew comes, the boat was already loaded. Everybody gets on the boat in the evening time. Everybody leaves. I'm the last person on the boat, making sure the garbage is taken off, the lines are tied. And Dr. Paul just sort of sits there and look at me in the distance, but never really say anything to me, and only refers to me as kid. Didn't even know my name. But it took me some years after that I volunteered every single year, and every single year kept me coming because it taught me different things. I went from observing to learning to take blood, to take measurement, to do all these stuff that I would have required to have gone to school to do. So I sort of put the courage before the horse. I learned all these techniques before I actually went to school to learn about it. But being a part of the team and learning these important techniques that will help Manatees to stay alive and help to keep them safe was important to me. And it's a sacrifice that I made. I felt that I lost my childhood, in the sense that I wasn't a normal kid. I wasn't out fishing and playing soccer and doing the stuff that normal kids would have been doing. I was out and about with researchers every summer, learning what it is that I can do to make a difference, what it is that I can do to be a part of the team. And they saw my interest, they saw my dedication. And one day Dr. Pearl approached me and he's like, kid, come here. And he's like, are you getting paid? Because they have a local crew that they hire that are getting paid. And I was like, I'm not getting paid. And he said, why are you here? And he asked me a question that I didn't even ask myself. I never thought of asking myself. I was so immersed in saving Manatees that I never thought to myself, what am I actually doing here? And the first thing that came to my mind was because I care. Because I want to save Manatees, that's why I'm here. And he looked at me, shocked for a second. And then years later on, they eventually hired me at 16 years old as a field assistant. I was the last person on the pay scale, but a very important person, because it makes me realize how important every single position in our organization is, because I went from the bottom to now at the top. So I walked my way up the ladder over the years, dedicated myself with the help of numerous mentors and people that provided guidance that molded me into the person that I am today. That's why I often say that my journey is a journey of many people, because many people have influenced me and many people continue to do so. And I may seem as the face of the effort, but there's so much people behind those doors that are keeping the wheels turning, that are contributing, that are pushing me and keeping me fresh, keeping me from being complacent. Because in conservation of a species that is endangered, you have no room for complacency. You have to keep your eyes on the ball, and you can't let go of that rope, because today you make 10 steps forward and tomorrow you'll make 20 steps backwards. And it requires dedication, it requires a high spirit, it requires support to not fall, to not be demoralized, to not be discouraged, to wake up tomorrow after 10 steps backward, to want to make 20 steps forward again, to compensate for the time or the species that have been lost, and to realize that every single Manatee loss is not just a statistical number, but a species, an individual, as each of these animals have different characteristics, different behavior. I can tell you Twiggy like to suck on your knees, and Duke wanted to give you hugs sometimes. And all these different personalities I can tell you about each one of these animals that I've come in contact with, that I can't say that I like one more than the other because I love them all the same.
How many are in the world right now? Where do they live, or where do they reside mostly?
Right now, the Antillian manatees, they are endangered globally. This species has a larger range compared to the Florida manatees. They can be found from Mexico down to South America as far as Venezuela, most of the Caribbean countries. But Belize is said to have the highest population of the species in the world. Hence the reason for the conservation efforts of the Colorado Marine Aquarium Research Institute and our partners is critical for the species, not just for Belize, but for the species on a global scale. We're hoping that our efforts that we're putting in, which is a combination of research, conservation action, educational awareness, and inspiration, trying to inspire people to be a part of conservation, be a part of the plight of this species, would be enough to eventually repopulate places that once had the species. They do have it, but have small numbers. But the number in Belize is estimated to be just around 1,000 individuals. So it's a relatively small number. We're fighting an uphill battle because the species already has a really slow reproduction cycle, and the threats are increasing over the years. Like I said, there's no room to relax. There's no room for holiday. There's no room. Every second that I have and we have to try and make a difference has to be taken because every one that we've lost is one that's not out there anymore.
Do you remember the first time you dove with them, that you got under the water with them?
The first time I got in the water with a manatee was actually in Florida when I was there doing an internship. And actually, no, the first time I got in the water with a manatee was much younger. I was about 12 years old, I believe. There was two manatees in rehabilitation named Woody and Hercules. Woody was named Woody because he was found in a place called Wood Bay. Hercules was given the name Hercules because he was a young calf, male calf they almost thought that he would not have made it, and he suddenly started to develop this energy and power that gotten back strong. So they gave him that name Hercules. I was volunteering with the people at rehab facility there, and they were supposed to separate the two because they were going to do health assessment. So we were getting in the water and trying to bring the sort of a fence between the two of them so that they're separated. And I'm standing in the water there, and I could see this young calf swimming towards me. My heart is pumping, boom, 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 boom. I'm just not knowing what it's going to do.
And do you have a mask on so you can see how big it is under the water?
I'm just standing in the water at chest height. My head is above the water, but I can see slowly coming towards me because manatees are curious, so it's coming to check me out. And I'm young, 12 years old, and my heart's just pumping under my chest, just because of the unknown, and I'm not sure what it's going to do. I've never been this close to one in the water, and it's coming towards me, and I can say I was afraid. I was afraid, but I'm so immersed and so interested in these animals that I was afraid, but I wouldn't make my fear not make me get this experience.
Mm-hmm.
What were you afraid was gonna? I mean, so you're standing in the shore. That means Hercules or Woody, they're coming all the way to the shore.
I'm standing in a pen, so they're in a small pen.
Okay.
Water at about my chest height, and she's just swimming towards me. I'm just afraid of the unknown. I don't know what's going to happen. And so he swims up to me, and as he gets closer, I realize he opens his slipper and sort of put his slippers around me as if he's giving me a hug. And suddenly my heart starts to slow down as I feel that sense of comfort. And I'm stunned because I'm thinking to myself, this manatee, this young calf have lost its mother because of us humans. But it still find it within itself to show me love. And for me, I thought it was a gesture of one of the most powerful messages that I've ever gotten from an animal that can't speak. It's sort of a gesture of saying the most powerful message that I've ever gotten is that I'm grateful for you. That's what I got from that gesture.
Wait, you're saying that they literally touched you?
He swam up to me and literally put his slippers around as if he's giving me a hug.
Crazy. Jesse, I thought they couldn't do that.
4 words unspoken. I'm grateful for you.
And did you see that one ever again, or did he go and do you keep track of him?
We ended up releasing Woody and Hercules in my community in the village where I grew up. And We tracked him for a while to make sure that he was successfully released into the wild. So we would monitor him to make sure he's staying out of trouble and he's doing good. And then after about a year, we catch him again to look at his blood levels, look at his weight to make sure he's actually adapting to the wild. And he looked good. So we removed the transmitter and then we released him for him to go free. We've caught him randomly, I think about 5 different times since then. And this is not an animal with a transmitter. We're just catching random animals to look at their health. And each animal that we've assessed they have a pig tag in their shoulder so we can scan it to see who it is. And when you scan it, lo and behold, it's, here you go, Woody. Large male, developed, doing great. And he's just one of the best success stories that I've come in contact with. And to me, the blessing of seeing that is greater than any monetary value that you can gain from doing the job that you're paid to do, or for many thank you that you could have gotten. To me, in this conservation field, I often say conservation is a rich man's career because you don't get paid to do it. The payment is a gratitude you receive from the work that you've carried out. And there's no greater gratitude than the hug from a Manatee that's telling you, I'm thankful for your support. Or to see an animal that have gone from an orphan to being wild and free and contributing to the conservation of the species as well.
When you look at him and you caught him 5 times, do you sense any awareness that he knows who you are, or, who knows that you're not out there to hurt him, or,
Yeah, definitely. Usually a Manatee that we've caught for the first time tends to resist, tends to maybe flap around, swim around, trying to get away. But he's just like chilling. He's like, okay, I get it. Okay, we're gonna take blood. He's taking his blood samples. He didn't, nobody wants to take blood samples, not even adults. You go to the doctor, they're like fidgety, they're afraid of injections, they don't want to. But Woody tends to just take his blood samples as it's normal procedure. He's gotten it a few times. It's not new. You tend to see that from him. And also when you catch him the first time after he was released to be wild, we were sort of like having a debate amongst each other to decide who it is, because we knew it was an animal that we've caught before because it was just too calm.
Right.
Like, this has to be someone that we've handled before. And once we scanned it, check the numbers, he's like, oh, Woody, bingo, here we go.
Do they each have their own sort of character and are they each sort of like different people?
Yeah, to me, they all have their own stories that I can write a book about each one of those individuals. Whether it's the story of how they got rescued, the trouble that they've gotten into, or the interaction that you had to have with them when you rescued them. I mean, there's a Manatee named Hope that was washed away during a hurricane and was washed out of the sea, across the marina, across the highway, and was found in the backyard of a motel. The owner of the motel, after the hurricane had passed, was cleaning up some debris, and he found this young little Manatee in a puddle of water just flopping around. Her umbilical cord was still attached. So she could not have been more than a day or 2 old. And to me, that young Manatee had sparked a sense of hope for an entire nation, because a lot of people lost their home, lost their properties, lost their belongings. But when they saw that story of this young Manatee that more than 2 days old spent the hurricane outside by itself and was able to make it through that, it sort of gives you that sense of motivation that we can't lose hope. When you lose hope, then there's no hope. And if that young man could have made it through that, why can't we? Why can't we fight through challenges?
Did you release Hope back into the wild?
Hope is actually at the rehabilitation center currently, and she's in her last phase, getting ready to be released back into the wild.
Do people follow her? Like, can you visit the rehabilitation center or no?
Rehabilitation center is a little bit remote. There are opportunities for people to come in to visit and see, but because these animals are also animals that are being prepared to go back into the wild, the interaction is preferred to be less, or in a way that you can observe these animals but not interfering with their natural rehabilitation process, as we don't want it to become used to humans because they're going to go back to the wild, and you want them to be able to not approach humans in the wild or be too friendly with humans, because you never know who they're going to come in contact with.
Yeah.
That makes sense. Does she have an Instagram page, Hope?
No,
Does she have her?
Don't have
Maybe we gotta make one for her, like, or a TikTok. I have a question about how old they are, as a species. How long have they been in the ocean, planet Earth? How long have they been here?
That's a very tough question. It's the theory is that manatees have evolved from a terrestrial species. They do have a pelvic bone, a floating bone in their stomach that has no purpose. It's just in their stomach floating there in that corner. So we're like, okay, where did it come from? Why is it there? And evolutionists believe that manatees have evolved from a land species. I'm not able to tell you how far back that was.
Yeah.
What would you want to tell people about the manatee if everybody was listening? What would you tell them?
I would tell them that they're missing out on some very important love. If you haven't experienced it as yet, you should take the time out to read up, listen, and even if you get an opportunity to go see them in the wild, it's fascinating. Every time I've seen them on Manatee, you'll think that it was my first time, because I get excited all over every single time, because it's just to see this peaceful species just being at peace can bring that sense of calm, that sense of happiness to you. And to see the plight that these animals are facing, the challenges that they're facing, but they're resilient, they're fighting to stay alive. And that we as human beings can do something about it. Oftentimes you see on TV and on social media that species are going extinct, and we often say someone's going to do something about it. But not just individual organizations, large entities see that and hope that some other entity is going to do something about it. And then a year later, you've heard that species gone extinct. And you're responsible as well, because you said someone's going to do something about it. But who's someone? Why not be that someone? I was 11 years old when I heard that manatees are endangered and they're facing extinction. I didn't pass that burden or pass that task to someone. At 11 years old, I decided to save a species that was 5 times bigger than I was. It's ludicrous when I think about it today. It's crazy. Why would I want to do that? Like, why not go kick soccer or play or do sailing or do something a child's supposed to be doing? We shouldn't have to make that a responsibility of children. We as adults should make and leave this world a better place so that they too can enjoy it just as we have done so. It's not just about manatees, it's about saving a species globally. It's about doing something that makes this world a better place. And I can promise you, the gratitude received from making this world a better place is bigger than any sacrifice you can ever make.
Were there other animals that you got attracted to, or was it always the manatee?
I guess I do have a bias for manatees because of my connection to the species. They're part of my culture, part of my community. They're part of my life. They've always been a part of my life. I can't go forward with them not being there. It would leave a huge void in my life. Hence my reason for my journey, my lifelong journey, to make sure that manatees are there. That I believe that some people are meant to be teachers, doctors, lawyers, pilots, and some people are meant to be manatee protectors. I can remember in elementary school, the teacher would ask you what you want to be when you grow up, and I got up and most people wanted to be lawyers and doctors and teachers, and I got up and I said I want to be a manatee rescuer. And everybody laughed because there's no such thing. It was funny at the time to them, but that's what I wanted to be. And the teacher was like, pick something else. And I was like, no, I'm not. This is what I want to be. And it shows you that you don't need to take the path that's already cleared out for you. You can forge your own path. You can make your own journey. You can set your own trend. You can be an inspiration for the next generation. I can tell you that I'm pretty sure there's people behind me wanting to be manatee rescuers now. Because someone has to start that journey. Someone has to clear that path. And like people like Dr. Powell and Nicola Will and Bob Bundy and all the other people that have taught me so much, they've made that path easy for me. So my goal is to make sure that you get up there, you turn around and pull someone up with you. Because in conservation, there's not enough people doing it. You cannot afford to be selfish in conservation. You got to share that knowledge so that more people can do that work. Because more hands make the work lesser, easier. There's so much people that are just looking on. Conservation isn't a spectator sport. You got to get off the stand and get in the game. You got to do your part. You can't just stand and wait for people to save this planet for you to enjoy it. You got to do your part, share the work, and make that sacrifice to help to make the world a better place.
But it sounds like, I think the important thing I'm hearing from you is it doesn't, for you is the manatees, for somebody else it might be the bees or a bird, or, Jesse would go with the woolly mammoth. I don't know where you're going, Jesse, but
There aren't many of those around.
I know, but the point is, it's something that touches your heart that you care about, and then you go out and you do whatever it takes in the way that you can. Some people make a life career like you did, other people, whatever they can contribute. Somebody, maybe it's a tree, right? The trees are cleaning up the ocean. Let's get the plastic out of there, right? So I think the important thing is there's many ways to address this. There's something each one of us can do. Would that be correct to say?
Exactly. I'm not trying to make the world manatee conservationists. I'm trying to use manatees as a as a species to spark and inspire people to want to save the things that they love.
Yeah.
I love whales as well. I have an affinity for whales. I absolutely love whales. Whales are my second favorite animal. But where you are, maybe bears, maybe jaguars, maybe
Dolphins. We like the dolphins. They're like right there. I can see them. I like the dolphins.
so find that thing. And when it comes to you, know it literally can be visiting a rescue center. Literally can be going to the Clearwater Marine Aquarium and swimming over a rescue animal and seeing their plight. Maybe a turtle. It may be hope. It may be. I mean, winter has inspired so much people across the globe.
Yeah.
And some people just need that story. They need that inspiration. And that's what I'm here for. And that's what they're trying to do. Telling that story to inspire them to get up and want to do something and start saving species. It can be, conservation is not just underground. It can be volunteering. You can be an accountant in conservation. You can be a publicist in conservation. So there's so much ways that you can contribute that there's no excuse at all. None.
You know, you've been doing this conservation with a lot of the same people for a long time. Do you notice anything that's the same about all these people?
Their dedication. Their dedication. I've seen some of my mentors retire, but haven't retired. Literally. They can't walk away from it because they've started this journey that they want to see through. And they've instilled that knowledge in people like myself to ensure that when they've gone, that candle keeps light and that the effort continues to do so. But their persistence, their dedication, and their passion have stayed consistent throughout my lifetime that I've seen.
Have there been books written about or songs about the manatee that we might know of? You know, like, well, Moby Dick was the whale, but what about, has there been anything written? Because I think you were going to have to write your book about all these different manatees.
We actually have a draft with a publisher right now.
You do?
Hope to come out soon. It's called A Tale of Hope. It's about the Manatee Hope that I spoke about.
Yeah.
That is a children's book, but my idea is to tell these stories to kids from a young age that they can be involved in conservation from a young age. We have to teach them the idea of conservation. Otherwise, we have to teach them survival. And I choose to teach them conservation first. So telling these stories about these animals will inspire these kids to want to be a part of conservation, but not just to be a part of conservation, but inspire them to fight through challenges that they may face in their young life.
Thank you. This is great, Jamal. Really appreciate you spending some time with us.
I'm glad to be here. Any opportunity that I get to tell their words and to share their message is important because every animal deserves a story.
I have one more question for you. You know, when you can't, I would imagine we don't want to keep them, you know, captive. So is there places we can go to watch them, films of them, or, you know, where could we go online maybe to see them? I want to kind of look at footage of them. Where do we go?
But visiting our website, Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute, we have tons of stuff on there. You can see our rescue animals. You can hear their stories. Following Clearwater Marine Aquarium on Instagram and Marine Life Rescues, that's where the stories are of these animals. You can see footage, videos of the rescues. Following myself, the real Manatee Man on Instagram, I'm often putting stuff out there. Like I said, I'm being an ambassador for the species. So you want to keep in tune with what we're doing. It's going to be there so that the world can see because their story deserves to be told on a global scale. And I'm planning to be around for a long time to tell that story.
Thank you, Jamal, very much. We'll see you again soon.
Thank you.
Thank you as well. Looking forward to seeing you.
Yeah. Bye, you guys.